amazing humans, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So I started a new series where we're going to be putting different spotlights on the neighborhoods of Kampala. What are the different suburbs of Kampala, the different residential suburbs, just to be particular, so that you may have a very good idea of the place that you actually want to live in. Okay, so we want to understand these locations. What do they look like? What are the residential neighborhoods like? What type of houses are there? How much are these properties, and who is actually living in these neighborhoods? So without wasting a lot of time, let's get right into our very first episode. So in this episode, we're going to be looking at Kira town. Okay, now Kira is actually located in Wakiso. Wakiso is the nearest district to Kampala. So you find so many people are actually living in Wakiso, but they work in Kampala. So you find so many people actually saying, oh, I live in Kampala, but Kira is not in Kampala. But because it is very near Kampala, it's so easy for you to say, I live in Kampala, okay? Because it's so near. So Kira is actually one of the famous places that people live in. It has a very big population of people that live here, yet they actually do come and work in Kampala as well. Now, Kira is actually a municipality. It has three divisions. It has Kira town itself, it has Namugongo, and it also has Bweyogerere. These places are actually very famous, by the way. Now, today we are putting the spotlight on Kira town. Now, Kira town is actually about 14 kilometers away from Kampala city center. So you see, this is actually not really far. And if you are driving from Kampala city center, it's just about 30 minutes drive. However, you have to be careful if it is not the jam or the traffic hours. When the traffic hours are there, like let's say in the evening where everyone is going back home, you have to plan your journey at least 1 hour earlier. I made some notes, so I keep on looking at my phone. Okay, so it's like I said earlier, it's actually the second largest municipality in Uganda, with the biggest population residing here. No wonder the many residential structures that are coming up. I'm not kidding. If you go to Kira like today, like now, there's quite a number of residential structures that are being constructed right here. Now, Kira town is actually characterized with organized residential neighborhoods, and it neighbors fast-growing suburbs like Najera, Nalia, Tinda, Chireka. So it's very easy to access these places if you are living in Kira. Now, let's look at the population demographics. Who are the people that are living there? What does this population actually look like? So that you may know if you will fit in or no. Kira town actually has some low-class inhabitants, and the biggest part of this population today is actually the middle class and the higher class that are actually buying property here and developing in this vicinity. Now, this is so true. Now, what is the age group of most of these people that own homes in Kira town? Now, most of the single family homes, or you could call them bungalows, and the villas as well, are actually owned by the people that are being grouped in the Generation X. Okay, now these people are actually able to own these single family homes because, mind you, 50 by 100 in Kira, you will find it, let's say, starting from, as your best price being Uganda shillings 80 million and above. So that type of money is actually not very cheap for so many people. So land is actually not very cheap in Kira. So that is why most of these people in the Generation X, most of them have worked for quite a while. So they have saved up quite enough money to be able to buy property, to buy land in Kira, and actually are able to construct and put their family home. Others, let's say their parents owned land here and then they were able to inherit it, so they can be able to develop it. Okay, so that is the most of the people that are owning these single family homes here. And then we have many people that are the millennials being able to own property here, but most of them are actually owning condominium apartments because they are buying. It's what you could call more affordable in this specific area, because you could find a condominium apartment, let's say a 2-bedroom condominium apartment being sold at Uganda shillings 200 million and above. So that is quite affordable for a millennial. And most of the people that are developing these condominium apartments are actually able to give you a payment plan. So you can actually pay in installments for, like, let's say 3 years payment plan. So you can actually be able to plan out your finances better. And then we have most of the Gen Zs that are living here as tenants, because there's quite a number of beautiful structures that are coming up, well organized, well planned. So many people actually want to live here. It's not far from Kampala, and it has really very many modern designs. You should note that these are actually generic trends, and individual circumstances may actually vary. So everything that we here are just grouping according to what my observation has actually been. However, you'll find, like, let's say you could be a Gen Z, but you actually do have all of that money saved up to buy land in Kira, and then you're actually able to construct a bungalow or a villa, etc, etc. And we also have many millennials that actually have enough money to buy a bungalow or to construct a villa, and then they can actually be able to own it in this location. Now let's look at the infrastructure, because that is why we're actually here. What type of infrastructure is there in Kira? Now you should know that Kira is mainly a residential area. So it has quite a number of these residential developments, bungalows, villas, apartments, and semi-detached homes. Most of them are quite many. The commercial properties are actually there as well. Commercial real estate is there, but most of them is like along the main road. You'll find quite a number of shops, mini malls, supermarkets, gyms. You'll also be able to see quite a number of restaurants, the dineries, so that people can at least be able to buy. So that is one of the reasons why people actually want to live in Kira, because they know it's actually easy for me to go and get something to eat. It's not so far away from me. Okay, so that is literally it about this area. And it has also been very much applauded for having very good access roads. I'll tell you one thing, in Kira you'll find even the access road to someone's home is very well constructed, and it's tarmac, by the way. So that is why so many people actually want to live over here. So let's look at the residential home demographics. What type of homes are over here? You'll find bungalows and villas. These are quite many. They're actually the biggest percentage, with most of them being constructed by let's say these property developers, and also individuals are also constructing their own bungalows and villas in this area. Then we have the apartments and condominiums. These are also quite many, but most of these are actually an emerging trend. So you'll find quite a number of them being developed here, because investors have actually found out that many people want to live in Kira. So if they constructed the houses over here, that will mean that many people will actually come and buy these properties and buy these condominium apartments, because they can afford, that is what they can afford. And many people will actually also come and rent these properties. So you'll find quite a number of apartments and condos. Then the semi-detached homes, these are also there, quite a number, very beautiful structures, but not as many as the bungalows and villas or the apartments. Okay, so you want to find out who is buying these apartments and who is buying these bungalows, and also who is renting them. Okay, so we have majorly the bungalows and villas and the apartments that are versing themselves like, yeah, me, I'm winning. So let's say, so we are going to be comparing the two. Okay, so when we look at the bungalows and the villas, who is owning them? We have many of the high income earners that are owning these bungalows and villas. Like I explained earlier, they're able to afford to buy land in this place and construct in them. Or if they're not going to buy land, they're able to buy the property in this place. You'll find, let's say, like a 6-bedroom bungalow or a 6-bedroom villa in this location being sold at, let's say, 900 million Uganda shillings, or even at 1 billion Uganda shillings. So only a high income earner can actually be able to afford that. And they're usually rented out to big families, or they're also hired out, they're hired out as holiday homes, vacation homes for big families. Now, how about the apartments and the condominiums? Now, these are actually owned by both the high income earners and the middle income earners. How? Most of the high income earners are actually buying these condominium apartments so that they can rent them out and keep making money. Okay, so it's good business that is actually safe. You know, real estate is actually one of the safest businesses that you can actually invest in. And the middle income earners are actually buying these condominium apartments because it is what they can afford in this area that is still really decent, safe, and also you know, a place that you can call home. So most of the middle income earners are also able to buy these apartments and condos. And who is renting these apartments and condos? So usually these are rented out to smaller families, and they're also rented out to starting out families, single people, and also rented out as Airbnb. So very many people actually, you know, are making most of these apartments Airbnb apartments, and they are so beautiful. The designs are amazing, and you'll definitely enjoy your time while you're there. So these bungalows and villas are actually usually 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom, 5-bedroom, or 6-bedroom usually. And then the apartments are usually 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, or 3-bedroom apartments. You'll find more, but mainly this is what is there. Now we actually want to understand how much are these properties, and how much is buying these properties, and how much is renting these properties. Because they both share the 3-bedroom in common, let's use it as our benchmark. When it comes to the bungalows and villas, you'll find a 3-bedroom bungalow. Usually the bungalows are being sold starting from Uganda shillings 400 million, depending on the features, the size of that house as well. But at 400 million Uganda shillings, the bedroom size is actually not going to be as big, you should know. So they're usually even way higher prices. Now when it comes to renting this 3-bedroom bungalow, you'll find the prices ranging starting from 2.5 million Uganda shillings and above. Okay, now yet when it comes to the apartments and condos, now most of these apartments and condos are coming along with amenities, okay, like a swimming pool, a gym, and etc, whatever it is that the developer has actually put there. So you'll find a 3-bedroom condominium apartment being sold at Uganda shillings, let's say 250 million and above, still depending on the features and the size of the bedroom. So at 250 million Uganda shillings, it's not as spacious, but it is actually decent. Okay, and renting this 3-bedroom apartment will be at Uganda shillings 2 million and above, still depending on the features and the size of these bedrooms. So I hope you actually enjoyed this video, and that now you have a very good idea about how Kira actually looks like. Come back again in our next episode, where we're going to be looking at our next town. Comment down below about which town you'd actually want to know more details about, and I'll definitely be able to bring it on.